Egypt, located in northeastern Africa, bridges Africa and Asia. For millennia, its history has unfolded along the Nile River, providing lifeblood. The story of Egypt is a journey through time, of pharaohs, achievements, and cultural influence. Its legacy remains visible today in pyramids, temples, and tombs. Egypt's significance in world history is immense. It pioneered writing, government, and religion. Egyptians were masters of engineering, creating structures that have survived for millennia. The Nile's predictable floods enabled agriculture and a thriving population. Deserts provided natural barriers, protecting the civilization. The Nile connected Upper and Lower Egypt into a unified state. This essay will take you on a journey through Egypt's history. The history of Egypt is a story told in chapters, each defined by different rulers and cultures. The first great era is that of the pharaohs, a period lasting nearly 3,000 years. During these times, native Egyptian dynasties ruled, and the core elements of Egyptian culture were established. Following the age of the pharaohs, Egypt entered a long period of foreign domination, including Persian, Greek, and Roman rule. The most famous ruler of this era was Cleopatra. A more permanent change came in the 7th century with the Arab conquest, introducing the Arabic language and the religion of Islam to Egypt. Cairo rose to prominence as a major center of Islamic power. The final chapters involve Ottoman Turks, followed by increasing European influence. The 20th century was a time of great change, marked by the revolution of 1952 that ended the monarchy and established the Republic of Egypt. Long before pharaohs, Egypt's story began with its earliest inhabitants. Early humans left behind rock carvings, offering glimpses into the 10th millennium BC. The region was home to mobile hunter-gatherers and fishermen in a much greener land. Around 6000 BC, climate changes transformed the region into the Sahara Desert, forcing migration towards the Nile. This pivotal migration concentrated populations along the Nile, enabling societal transformation. Communities built permanent settlements and harnessed the river's resources. Agriculture thrived due to the Nile's fertile silt, ensuring a stable food supply. This agricultural base paved the way for complex society, specialized roles, and organized governance. Scattered tribes coalesced, laying the groundwork for a sophisticated civilization. The transition to an agricultural society marked the beginning of the Neolithic era in Egypt. By about 6000 BC, a distinct Neolithic culture had firmly taken root within the fertile Nile Valley. This period, often called the New Stone Age, was characterized by the development of farming, the creation of pottery, and the establishment of more permanent villages. People began to cultivate crops like wheat and barley, which became staples of their diet. They also learned to domesticate animals such as cattle, sheep, and goats, providing a steady source of meat, milk, and hides. This agricultural revolution was not just about food, it fundamentally reshaped human society and its relationship with the land. During this transformative Neolithic era, several distinct pre-dynastic cultures emerged independently in different parts of Egypt. These early societies developed unique traditions, tools, and artistic styles. The two main geographical and cultural spheres were Upper Egypt in the south and Lower Egypt in the north, near the Nile Delta. For centuries, these regions developed along parallel but separate paths. The communities in Lower Egypt, such as the one at the site of Merimde, were among the earliest. They built simple oval huts and buried their dead within their settlements, showing a deep connection to their homes and a nascent form of ancestor reverence. In Upper Egypt, the Badarian culture appeared around 4400 BC and is considered one of the most significant precursors to dynastic civilization. The Badarians were skilled farmers who lived in small villages. They are particularly known for their sophisticated pottery, especially their thin-walled, black-topped red ware, which shows a remarkable level of craftsmanship. They also produced some of the earliest known examples of faience, a type of glazed ceramic. Badarian burial practices were elaborate. They placed their dead in pits on their left side, facing west, and included personal items like combs, jewelry, and cosmetic palettes, suggesting a belief in an afterlife. Following the Badarian period, a series of cultures known as the Naqada series emerged and became dominant in Upper Egypt. This cultural phase, which is divided into Naqada 1, 2, and 3, shows a clear progression towards greater social complexity and political organization. During the Naqada periods, craftsmanship became more advanced, with intricate flint knives, stone vessels, and decorative art. Trade between settlements intensified, and social hierarchies became more pronounced, as seen in the varying sizes and contents of graves. This gradual evolution laid the social, economic and political foundations upon which the first pharaohs would eventually build a unified Egyptian state. The cultural landscape of pre-dynastic Egypt was a mosaic of distinct but interconnected communities. While the Naqada culture flourished in Upper Egypt, contemporaneous societies in Lower Egypt maintained their own unique traditions for over 2,000 years. The earliest known Lower Egyptian site, Merimdi, actually predates the Badarian culture by about 700 years, highlighting the long history of settlement in the Nile Delta. These northern communities, often referred to as the Mahdi culture, were different in many ways. They had stronger trade links with the Near East, particularly the Levant, which is evident from the foreign pottery and tools found at their sites. Despite their cultural distinctions, the communities of Upper and Lower Egypt were not isolated from one another. They maintained frequent contact through well-established trade networks that ran the length of the Nile River. Goods and ideas flowed between the north and the south, creating a shared pool of cultural knowledge even as regional identities remained strong. This interaction was crucial for the eventual unification of the country. Items from the south have been found in northern archaeological sites and vice versa, demonstrating a continuous exchange that fostered mutual awareness and interdependence between the two regions, setting a precedent for future political union. The later phase of the pre-dynastic period, known as Naqada III or sometimes the proto-dynastic period, was a time of rapid change and innovation. It was during this era, around 3200 BC, that one of the most important inventions in human history appeared: writing. The earliest known evidence of Egyptian hieroglyphic inscriptions has been found on pottery vessels from this period. These early hieroglyphs were often simple labels, perhaps indicating the owner of the vessel, its contents, or its origin. This development marked a monumental leap in administrative capability, allowing for the recording of information and the management of an increasingly complex economy and society. The Naqada III period also saw the consolidation of political power. Small autonomous villages and towns began to merge into larger political entities or proto-states, each ruled by a powerful chieftain or king. These early rulers vied for control over territory and trade routes. Their growing power is reflected in their increasingly elaborate tombs, which were precursors to the mastabas and pyramids of the dynastic age. This process of political centralization, driven by competition and conflict, culminated in the final struggle for dominance between the powerful kingdoms of Upper and Lower Egypt, ultimately leading to the unification of the entire land under a single ruler and the dawn of the Pharaonic age. The pre-dynastic period culminated around 3150 BC, when a unified kingdom was forged from Upper and Lower Egypt. Tradition credits this to King Menes, often identified as Narmer. This unification marked the beginning of the Pharaonic age and a series of dynasties that would govern Egypt for 3 millennia. It was the creation of a powerful state that would leave its mark on history. The first 2 dynasties, the early dynastic period, set the stage for Egypt's first golden age. These pharaohs established a centralized administration and a capital at Memphis. During this time, the core elements of Egyptian civilization flourished. The early pharaohs were seen as divine figures, and this belief gave the ruler immense authority. The early dynastic period was a time of consolidation and foundation building, laying the groundwork for the Old Kingdom. The Old Kingdom, from 2700 to 2200 BC, is known as the Age of the Pyramids. Pharaohs held absolute power, supported by a bureaucracy that mobilized resources for monumental projects. Imhotep designed the Step Pyramid for Pharaoh Djoser at Saqqara, the world's first large-scale stone building. During the 4th dynasty, pyramid building peaked with the Great Pyramids of Giza. Sneferu experimented with pyramid design, and his son Khufu built the Great Pyramid, one of the ancient world's wonders. Khafre and Menkaure added their pyramids and the Sphinx, creating a complex that has awed humanity for millennia. Skilled laborers, not slaves, built these monuments, reflecting the pharaoh's importance and Old Kingdom beliefs. The pyramids stand as testaments to the ambition and genius of Egypt's first great age. After centuries of stability, the Old Kingdom weakened due to environmental issues and declining pharaoh power. This led to the First Intermediate Period, a time of political upheaval. Around 2040 BC, Theban rulers reunified Egypt, beginning the Middle Kingdom. This era saw renewed prosperity and expansion into Nubia. However, decline returned, creating a power vacuum. The Hyksos, a foreign group, rose to power, marking the Second Intermediate Period. They introduced new military technologies. Eventually, Ahmose of Thebes drove out the Hyksos, reunifying Egypt and beginning the New Kingdom. The 18th dynasty began the New Kingdom, an age of empire. Pharaohs pursued an aggressive foreign policy, building a vast empire. This period saw rulers like Hatshepsut, Thutmose III, and Akhenaten. Akhenaten attempted a radical religious revolution, worshipping the sun disk Aten. Later, Tutankhamun and Ramesses II restored the old religion. Ramesses the Great reigned for 67 years and commissioned countless monuments. Despite its wealth, the New Kingdom eventually declined due to warfare and internal struggles. The Grand Imperial Age was over, and Egypt entered a phase of fragmentation. The decline of the New Kingdom left Egypt vulnerable. In the 6th century BC, the Achaemenid Persian Empire under Cambyses II set its sights on the Nile Valley. In 525 BC, the Persians conquered Egypt, ending the 26th dynasty. Egypt became a Persian province. The Persian kings adopted the title of pharaoh. This domination lasted over a century. Some rulers, like Darius I, respected Egyptian customs. Egyptians frequently rebelled against Persian control, briefly ending Persian domination in 404 BC when Emir Tias expelled them. This inaugurated Egypt's last phase of independence. Native rule ended in 343 BC, when Artaxerxes III reconquered the Nile Valley. This marked the end of pharaonic sovereignty. The stage was set for a new power. Alexander the Great entered Egypt in 332 BC, welcomed as a liberator and crowned pharaoh. He founded Alexandria, which soon became a global center of culture and commerce. After Alexander's death, Ptolemy I seized Egypt, founding the Ptolemaic dynasty. Greek rulers who blended their culture with Egyptian traditions. Alexandria flourished, home to the legendary library and a melting pot of ideas and trade. Yet the Ptolemies faced constant internal strife and native unrest, growing increasingly reliant on Rome. These alliances with Rome would ultimately spell the end of their dynasty and Egypt's independence. Cleopatra VII, Egypt's last pharaoh, was a brilliant multilingual ruler determined to restore her kingdom's power. She forged alliances with Julius Caesar and Mark Antony, seeking to secure Egypt's future. Their defeat by Octavian at Actium sealed Egypt's fate. Cleopatra and Antony's deaths marked the end of the Ptolemaic line. Octavian annexed Egypt, making it his personal province, its wealth now fueling the Roman Empire. Egypt's ancient independence was gone. It became Rome's breadbasket. Under Rome, Egypt became the empire's breadbasket, shipping grain and luxury goods across the Mediterranean. Alexandria thrived as a hub of trade and scholarship, home to thinkers like Ptolemy and Hypatia. The fusion of Egyptian, Greek, and Roman cultures shaped Western thought. Christianity arrived, spreading rapidly and transforming Egypt's spiritual landscape. Alexandria became a center of Christian theology, but religious tensions and persecution followed. After Rome's division, Egypt joined the Byzantine Empire, with the Coptic Church emerging as a distinct force. These divisions would leave Egypt vulnerable to new conquerors. In 619 AD, the Sassanid Persians swiftly conquered Egypt, exploiting local resentment toward Byzantine rule. Their occupation was brief. Emperor Heraclius soon reclaimed the province. But the wars left Egypt exhausted, divided, and exposed. The Coptic majority remained alienated from their Byzantine rulers. This instability paved the way for a new power from Arabia. Within a decade, Arab armies would arrive, forever changing Egypt's destiny. The stage was set for the dawn of Islamic rule. In 639 AD, Ammar ibn al-Az led Arab forces into Egypt, capitalizing on Byzantine weakness and local discontent. By 642, Alexandria fell, and Egypt became part of the Islamic world. The Arabs established Fustat, later Cairo, as their new capital. Copts and Jews were granted protected status, easing the transition. Over centuries, Arabic language and Islamic culture gradually replaced Greek and Coptic. Egypt became a vital province of successive Islamic caliphates, fueling expansion and trade. This era laid the groundwork for Egypt's resurgence as a center of power. The land of the pharaohs was now firmly part of the Islamic world. In 969 AD, the Fatimid Caliphate made Egypt the heart of their empire, founding Cairo and Al-Azhar University. Egypt flourished as a center of learning, trade, and tolerance under the Fatimids. The Ayyubids, led by Saladin, restored Sunni rule and defended the region against crusaders. In 1250, the Mamluks, elite slave soldiers, seized power, establishing a sultanate in Cairo. The Mamluks halted the Mongols at Ain Jalut, preserving the Islamic world. Cairo became the Arab world's cultural and economic capital. Despite internal strife, the Mamluks left a legacy of architectural splendor. Egypt's medieval Golden Age set the stage for future transformations. The Mamluk Sultanate's power waned as the Ottoman Empire rose. In 1517, Sultan Selim I conquered Egypt, incorporating it as a province. For 3 centuries, Egypt was part of the Ottoman Empire, experiencing decline and instability, despite the Mamluks retaining local influence. Napoleon's 1798 invasion exposed Egypt's weakness. After the French withdrawal, Muhammad Ali rose to power. By 1805 he was recognized as viceroy, ending direct Ottoman rule and establishing his dynasty. Muhammad Ali modernized Egypt, building a European-style army and navy. He expanded his rule, reforming society to support his military ambitions. A key reform was the introduction of long staple cotton, transforming agriculture and increasing economic ties with Europe. European powers checked his ambitions, but his dynasty continued modernization, accumulating massive debts. The Suez Canal's construction led to Britain acquiring a major stake. Growing debt led to British and French financial control, fueling nationalist resentment. Britain intervened militarily, beginning an occupation that lasted 7 decades, making Egypt a de facto British protectorate. Lingering British influence and a corrupt monarchy created discontent in Egypt after World War II. This led to the Free Officers movement, who launched the 1952 revolution. King Farouk was forced to abdicate, ending his dynasty's rule. The Egyptian Republic was declared. Gamal Abdel Nasser rose to power, becoming president in 1956. His rule was defined by Arab nationalism and anti-imperialism. Nasser secured the withdrawal of British troops and nationalized the Suez Canal, leading to the Suez Crisis, a political victory for Egypt. Nasser emerged as a hero, furthering pan-Arab unity, including a union with Syria. Gamal Abdel Nasser's death in 1970 led to Anwar Sadat becoming president. Sadat shifted Egypt's allegiance towards the United States and launched the Enfitah economic policy. A defining moment was the October War of 1973, an attempt to regain territory lost in 1967. Sadat pursued peace, visiting Jerusalem in 1977 and signing the Egypt-Israel Peace Treaty in 1979. Though supported by Egyptians, the treaty was condemned by the Arab world. In 1981, Sadat was assassinated by Islamist extremists. Hosni Mubarak succeeded him, ruling for 30 years. His rule maintained peace but faced authoritarianism and public discontent. Hosni Mubarak's long presidency provided stability but limited political freedoms and entrenched corruption. Inspired by Tunisia, Egyptians took to the streets in 2011, demanding an end to Mubarak's rule. After 18 days, Mubarak resigned, and Mohamed Morsi of the Muslim Brotherhood was elected in 2012. Facing criticism and mass protests, Morsi was removed by the military led by General Abdel Fattah el-Sisi. El-Sisi was elected president in 2014 and focused on stability and infrastructure projects. The story of Egypt spans more than 5 millennia, beginning on the fertile banks of the Nile. From the age of the pyramid builders to the imperial ambitions of the New Kingdom, the Pharaonic era created a cultural identity that resonates to this day. Egypt's strategic importance led to long centuries of foreign rule, and the Arab conquest brought lasting changes. In the medieval period, Cairo rose to become a beacon of Islamic civilization. This long history is a living presence in modern Egypt. This historical tapestry has shaped the national psyche, instilling a deep sense of pride. From the Ottoman era to modern republicanism, Egypt has continually adapted. Understanding this historical depth is crucial to comprehending the Egypt of today. Today, Egypt is a pivotal nation in the Middle East and North Africa, its identity shaped by its long history. Its pharaonic heritage and the treasures of Tutankhamun draw millions. The Islamic era defines its cultural and social framework, with Al-Azhar University a vital center of Islamic thought. Modern Egypt's political path is complex. The government prioritizes stability and economic development with ambitious infrastructure projects. The Suez Canal is a critical artery of global trade, giving Egypt strategic importance. Egypt's journey is a story of resilience, navigating challenges while maintaining its distinct identity. As it moves forward, it carries a legacy bridging ancient heritage and modern ambition,